Hello again everyone, and welcome back to my very busy allotment. It's a very busy week at the allotment. I hope you guys have all had a lovely Easter. I took a little bit of a break for Easter, a few days away from the allotment, which may have actually proven to be a big mistake because I came down to the allotment afterwards and there were weeds everywhere. They seem to have grown overnight. The mare's tail and the bindweed are the biggest problems. They're quite a pain to get out, but there's just lots of weeds that have popped up everywhere. So about an hour before I filmed this video, I did a good de-weeding session actually, and de-weeded quite a lot of the beds around the allotment. But over the past week, except for the Easter weekend break that I had, I've been doing quite a lot of stuff around the allotment, and I filmed it as well. The first thing which I did is I built the bean support over on this side of the allotment here, and the second thing which I did is I planted the brassicas out in the raised beds. I really needed to get this done because the brassicas were getting very big in the 9cm pots in the greenhouse. It really needed to be done really. I planted the cabbages, the broccoli, the sprouts and some cauliflower out in the raised beds, and I also covered them with netting as well because otherwise the pigeons will get them. You could leave a cabbage plant outside, uncovered, literally within a day it would have been completely destroyed by pigeons. Interestingly though, pigeons only seem to go for brassicas and peas. They don't really seem to go for beans or sweet peas or lettuce or anything like that. It's a bit strange, just seems to be the brassicas. So those are the things which we did over the last week. Bean support, planting out all the brassicas. But there's still a lot more which I need to do, and that's what I'm going to do in today's video. So I have counted a total of 55 sunflowers which I'm going to be planting outside, and the reason why I'm growing so many sunflowers is because they were my late father's favourite sunflower. He passed away 10 years ago this year, and I want to grow lots of sunflowers in memory of him. I like sunflowers anyway, and they will add a really nice bit of colour to the allotment. And as you can see here, they are in these 9cm pots and they really need to go outside now. I don't know what's happened to this one at the front here. One of them seems, I think one of them has become too pot bound and has died, so they really need to go outside. Yeah, 55 sunflowers. Some of those are dwarf varieties, some of them are teddy bear sunflowers, and there's a couple of other varieties as well. Now, a subscriber of mine, Jack Jones from Scotland, emailed me a picture of his planted sunflowers, and he has sown 240 sunflowers, and I thought that I was doing a lot of sunflowers. He has planted 240 of them. So yeah, I might be growing a lot of them, but yeah, some people have grown a lot more than that. I also need to plant out the sweet peas as well. I pinched the tops of these out a couple of weeks ago to allow them to grow bushier, which will encourage more flowers. And yeah, they look really good. In fact, they really need to go out. They quite desperately need to go out, in fact. So we've got those to go out, and that's not everything. There's more. I also need to start planting the tomatoes as well. We've got, I don't know actually how many. If I was to hazard a guess, there's probably about 20 varieties here. Some of them are hybrids and some of them are heritage varieties. Some of them were kindly given to me by Ali from My Rusty Garden. all the way from Canada. I planted those, and yeah, they're doing really well. I could pot these on into 9cm pots and then grow them on a little bit more, but it's the end of April. I may as well just plant them out into the beds in the polytunnel. And actually I'm going to be growing some in grow bags as well, which, believe it or not, I've never actually grown tomatoes in grow bags ever, but I've got a couple of these grow bags and I'm going to try growing some of them in them. We're going to get on with planting the sunflowers, the sweet peas and the tomatoes in this video. And then I'll just show you around the allotment and show you what's going on, because there's lots of growth at the moment. It's a really exciting time. Things are really bursting into life now. So I planted these brassicas out nearly a week ago now, and one thing I have noticed, which is very, very strange, is where are the slugs? I mean, I don't want to speak too soon, and I'm not complaining, but it's very unusual that they've not been touched by slugs. Famous last words. Yeah, let's just forget that I said anything about that. I didn't say anything. I'm not speaking too soon. Where's a piece of wood? Now, something really, really exciting happened last weekend. Something that I've been waiting 2 years for. And that is getting attacked by red ants all over the place. I harvested my first asparagus ever. I planted this 2 years ago, and it's been a long wait. But yeah, we harvested 6 spears of asparagus, and it was lovely. Although my wee absolutely stunk for a day afterwards. It was quite smelly indeed. Asparagus does make the pea of some people smell quite unpleasant. I am one of those people, but it was well worth it because it was delicious. Okay, feels like I've got loads of stuff done. I'm going to show you what I've done in a minute, but firstly I'd just like to share my little wasp experience. Earlier today I was putting this little solar panelled squirrel thing, which my other half picked up from B&M, absolute bargain, £1. The eyes light up at night. I secured it on here by putting a nail, hammering a nail into here and attaching it, but I went in my toolbox to find a nail small enough to do this, and whilst doing that I opened the toolbox and there was a wasp nest inside there. Second time I've found a wasp nest in the shed now. I don't know how it got in the toolbox. I think there's like little holes in it and they got in. Yeah, I quickly sorted that out. Does anyone want a free shed? Thankfully the wasp nest wasn't very big, it was quite new. Yeah, I wasn't dealing with that. If I'd left it any longer, then we'd have a big problem. Yeah, we don't want that. So what we've done around the plot, loads of different things actually, and things are coming along really, really well. I'm really pleased with the growth at the moment. Things are warming up quite a bit at the moment. It's supposed to get even warmer next week as well, up to 25 degrees Celsius. Anyway, we've planted out some more lettuce. The lettuce which we sowed earlier is now coming along really, really well, and actually I'm going to be making some pickings of this very soon. There's not really any slug damage on it either. There's a little bit on this one, but quite minimal. That's good stuff. This here, over here we have our rocket, and that's coming along really well as well. There's some Swiss chard coming up there as well, and mustard coming along really nicely as well. And of course we have our bean support here, which I'm going to grow French beans up, and I think I'm going to grow some of the Saar beans as well, which you use for butter beans, but you can also use them for runner beans as well. I'm going to grow some of them on the other side, I think. I think it'd be a shame not to grow runner beans, seeing as I've grown them every single year. So that's what I'm doing there. They're just starting to come up in the greenhouse actually, the beans. I'll show you that in a moment though. We should have some rhubarb to pick soon. Really exciting stuff. We do love our rhubarb. So much so, I've actually made a new rhubarb patch. It's not going to be ready till next year, that stuff though. The elephant garlic's coming along really well too. Looking really good. Lots of weeds though. I've already weeded here a few days ago, and already it's the mare's tail that's the biggest problem. That stuff is a nightmare. The bane of my allotment life is the mare's tail, and bindweed as well. Little DIY project going on here, but I'm going to take my time with that. I want to raise this area of the plot here because it's a bit shaded, but I think if I raise it a little bit it should be more in the sunlight, and the soil here is quite heavy clay, but that's a work in progress there. Probably going to be later this year when I do that. Now we've dotted sunflowers around the entire allotment, and here's one of them. This is a Pike's Peak sunflower, the biggest sunflower in cultivation apparently, with the biggest sunflower seeds. We'll see how they do. Last year we lost most of our sunflowers to the slugs. We've also planted cornflowers around as well. We've done that around the plot, just dotted them around everywhere. I've sown my second bed of carrots last week as well. No signs of them yet though in this bed. I need to net it over when the seedlings come up. I'll show you the first bed of carrots in a bit. They've all come up now. But I'll just show you what I've done over here. When I was planting the sunflowers, I also planted nasturtiums here around this area. A few sunflowers here and nasturtiums all the way around here, because this area isn't that great. It's not the best part of the plot, so I'm going to use this simply as ground cover, and there's quite a bit of wood here which I've got, and I'm going to build a border around here, and hopefully this area will look a bit nicer. Give the patio a brush, stick a border there, nice nasturtiums, a couple of sunflowers, and jobs are good enough, I think. I actually had to remove quite a bit of mare's tail from the greenhouse. I'm only wanting to grow some flipping garlic, and the mare's tail, look at that. Some really big chunky roots there. I removed all that from just these two beds here. Still need to stick glass in here. I've still not done that. I might just, I don't know, I might actually just put polycarbonate in. Actually no, we can't actually get glass. It's actually banned on site. We have to replace glass with the polycarbonate sheets now. Now, there's a lot going on around the allotment. It's very busy at the moment. Things are really coming together now. The beetroot over here looks absolutely amazing. Really good stuff. I netted it over simply because the birds, blackbirds, were digging in the beds just to get worms, I think. Actually, a subscriber mentioned that it could be red ants that the birds are after, which I'm not going to complain about because the red ants are a big problem, but I don't want them digging in the beds, especially when there's seedlings, and that's why I've netted them. They look really good then. Bolt hardy beetroot at the front, and there's some rainbow beetroot and golden beetroot starting to come up over there as well. Lots and lots of mare's tail though. Lots of that. I found that the more you pick the mare's tail early in the season, it tends to weaken, and then it doesn't grow quite as vigorously during the summer. That's what I've found. But I've been fighting it now for a good 6 years. 6 years I've been on this plot now, and I've had a problem ever since the start. Here is our little Temu bed, which I'm going to plant dwarf beans in, I think. I've sown a few different dwarf beans, and they're going to go in there. The hose pipe is still out, as you can see, because there's not really much point reeling it up when I'm going to be watering pretty much nearly every day at the moment because it's so dry. It's supposed to be dry for at least another week. As I said, next week we're getting a heat wave. Oh, the articles online, all these news articles are saying UK to be battered by 25 degrees heat wave, all this nonsense and stuff, and it's just spring weather really, to be honest. It's nothing unusual. Anyway, we've got all our brassicas here now, netted over. No slug damage yet. Cabbages, cauliflower in there. I need to sow some more cabbages and stuff actually. I'm going to do another successional sowing of these to go in when they come out, possibly. Broccoli maybe. Successional sowing of broccoli. Our sprouts are here, looking really healthy. Yeah, I'm going to sow some more brassicas, in particular broccoli and cabbage for successional sowings, but also some for Christmas as well. I think now is the time to get some of those sown for Christmas vegetables. I want to grow most of the Christmas dinner. In fact, I want to grow all my veg for Christmas if I can. That is a goal I've set myself for this year. So here is the first bed of carrots, which we sowed about a month ago now actually. And this time last year, we were having so many problems with the slugs. Every time I sowed them, a slug would just take out an entire row. I've netted them over now to stop the root fly, although the netting itself isn't very good. Temu netting, I don't think it's very good, to be honest. Literally, it just rips like that. So we may actually have some root fly get through, but I'm sure some netting is better than no netting. But yeah, the seedlings themselves are looking really good, and they're actually starting to get the first set true leaves, would you believe? It doesn't look like any have been touched by slugs, which means I need to thin them out myself. Although I can't rely on slugs to thin them out because they will just take the whole lot. Mare's tail's a big problem in here. The biggest problem with that being in the carrot bed is when you pull out a mare's tail root, you end up pulling out several carrot seedlings at the same time, which isn't good because, well, you could either pull them out completely or you could damage the roots and then you'll end up with wonky carrots. So I'm not too pleased about that. So I might have to leave them and then pull them out after when the seedlings are a bit bigger. It doesn't look like there's too many in there. So hopefully not too much of a problem. Yeah, they're doing really well so far. We've got our bed here ready for swede. The swede are coming along really well in the greenhouse. I'll show you that in a moment. But yeah, bed's here now ready. It's been limed just like the other brassica beds. Our Ayrshire Craig onions are here and they look all right. Not too bad. They're just starting to thicken up now. They were taking their time. They do sulk for me when I stick them in. You know, they do take a few weeks to get going, but I think they are getting going now. If anyone can tell me what this fungus is. It's growing in both of these beds. Look at that. There's some really chunky ones. Some sort of mushroom or fungus or something, but it's in both of them. And I think it's from the topsoil. I mean, I think it's a sign of healthy, nutrient-rich soil. But if anyone can tell me what they are, I'm not interested in them being edible, because I wouldn't want to try that anyway. But yeah, if you know anything about these fungi, that's the word, let me know. Our leeks are here in the other bed, and they're looking quite good actually. They're all pointing upright, which is good, it means they're growing. We've got our direct sown ones over here. Musselburgh, just like the ones back there. And also monstrous Carrington, I think. I'll just pan around this area here. Starting to look a bit more alive now than it was. Things are starting to move a little bit. Our Rheinsberger Dutch onions, they're looking all right. They're starting to thicken up, slowly but surely. I have got a few in the greenhouse in case I need to replace them, because you know some of them don't look as good. Our red magnate onions don't look very good at all. They're quite small, but I'm sure they will start to come along. I've got spares with those as well in case we lose them. And also we have some more of the Rheinsberger Dutch onions over here as well. All in all, I've got about 300 onions. Some people have been saying, blimey, you must love onions. Are you going to make 1,000 curries or something? And the truth is, I just want to grow enough onions to last for the next year. So we've planted more sunflowers down here. I've planted about 50 something of them all together. And yeah, hopefully the slugs don't attack them like last year. I've actually planted some of the dwarf ones here, and this is a Pikes Peak one as well. Huge sunflower. Should be a nice display, providing that they survive and they grow. There's also some more of them down here. These tulips are from last year's bulbs, and I just let them grow back, and they haven't produced a display quite as good as last year. Lots more sunflowers down here. The sweet peas are now in as well. Hopefully they do quite well. And I've also just stuck more down here. There's a couple of branching ones here, and more of the giant single ones to grow up here as well. And with one of the veggie beds, I'm going to remove the Jerusalem artichokes, grow them in containers, and grow brassicas in here instead. I've stuck some garden lime on the top there, because I've decided we grow a lot of the brassicas, and I want to grow more Christmas veg, the red cabbages and things like that. So I'm going to grow those in here. Okay, so I've just had to switch you over to the camera because the storage was running out on the phone. I'll try and keep it as still as I can. It can be a bit shaky, but I'll just show you what's going on inside the greenhouses and polytunnels, because I've shown you outside. I've planted up the tomatoes in this polytunnel, just tomatoes in here this year. There's still garlic around the perimeter there though, but we've stuck in the cocktail crush tomatoes there, 3 of them. The rest of them are heritage types. Very small at the moment, but I'm sure they will come on eventually. I'm growing them up these strings here, and I've actually buried the string underneath the tomato plant this time. I didn't do that with the peppers in the polytunnel, in the other one. I wish I had now, because it will be much easier this way. So we've got loads of different types. We've got Beauty King, Alice's Dream, Indigo Blue Beauty, Large Barred Boar, Tiger Tomato, Rebel Starfighter Prime, Dragon's Eye, Sergeant Peppers, Antho Yellow, Orange Wellington. We've got some Honeymoon tomatoes, Midnight Roma. I'm excited for those. nice dark Roma tomato, and we've also got chocolate pear as well. There's a couple of others as well, some nice heritage types. So that's the small polytunnel. Let's go and have a look in the big polytunnel and see how the peppers are doing, because we risked it for a biscuit a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so we're in the large polytunnel at the moment, the one which we recently stuck a cover on. I'll just show you this. I'm growing some tomatoes in grow bags this year. I've not grown them in grow bags ever before, so this is the first time. We've got our sun gold tomatoes in here at the moment. There's another grow bag in the greenhouse though with honeymoon tomatoes in. I'm going to grow some in here as well because there's a little bit of space here. We've got our strawberries. They're all starting to produce flowers and fruit now, so that's good. They all look pretty healthy, looking really good. I'd highly recommend, if you've got a greenhouse or a polytunnel and you're growing strawberries, stick some in the polytunnel or the greenhouse. Honestly, you'll get strawberries about a month earlier. It's well worth doing. Same over on this side as well, full of flowers now, really good. There's a wasp on that one. I don't want them to be building nests in here. The rest of the polytunnel, peppers pretty much. There's a few spring onions along the front here which we're continuously picking, and they were planted last autumn. But it looks like there's some slug damage on that one. That's interesting. But they look pretty healthy. They've not died yet, and it's been about 2 weeks now. I decided to risk it for a biscuit and stick the peppers in here because they were suffering at home. These ones at the front don't look too great, but I'm sure they will come on. They will grow nicely, especially over the next week. We're going to get some really warm weather, and it's going to be really sunny as well, so I think these will really come on over the next couple of weeks. Okay, so we'll just quickly go over the large greenhouse and then I'll show you what's happening on the new plot, because we've got strawberries and potatoes on there and there's also developments with that. But it looks quite messy in here, to be honest. There's a lot going on. Everything's just been chucked on here really. But our dwarf beans and climbing French beans are all starting to germinate now. So won't be long before they're being planted out. Hopefully probably around the middle of May. Sweet corn as well, although we're going to grow that in the greenhouse in buckets. More beans starting to come up there, looking really good. Everything is now down in the greenhouse. There's nothing at home anymore. I've shut down the grow lights now. Courgettes and pumpkins are all starting to germinate as well. Excellent stuff. The rest of the stuff is just spare. We've got loads of spare onions at the back there because I think we are going to lose a few. And we've got loads of spare brassicas as well. More successional sowings. Our cucumbers, I need to plant the cucumbers out into the beds in the polytunnel, or I might grow them in containers, I don't know yet. But this is our swede, and they're looking really good. It won't be long before they're going out either actually. The rest of the greenhouse, our purple sprouting broccoli, which hasn't really done much, quite disappointing to be honest with you. They've just been producing shoots like that, and yeah, more spare stuff over there, more onions and leeks. Here are the honeymoon tomatoes, which I'm growing in a grow bag in here. I'm going to grow those at the back. And the sweet corn's going to be growing along this side here. That's the plan. I'm going to use these buckets. Once the brassicas are finished, I'll grow them in these buckets along here. So we've got heritage tomatoes in the small polytunnel. We've got peppers in the big polytunnel and a couple of tomatoes in there too. And then we've got a couple of tomatoes in here and sweet corn in here. And that should be good. The small greenhouse over there, probably cucumbers, aubergines, probably, because we do have a couple of aubergines there which will grow. Right, so that's the big greenhouse. Let's just have a look at the new allotment. But the new allotment, I've put a lot of this stuff in containers that was just dotted around the allotment and put them here for now, like chives and things like that. Blueberry bush, which is full of flowers. They look really good. Our crimson bonfire peach trees there in all its glory. There's a little bit of peach curl on there though, that's not very good. I'm not wanting to see that, I have to cut those off. Our fig tree, which hasn't produced anything in 4 years, is here and the buds are opening. If you've got any tips about growing figs, do let me know, because I don't know what I'm doing with that, just winging it. A lot of our potatoes are starting to grow now, which is really good news. They are coming up nicely. These ones here are actually our seed potatoes that we saved from last year. Cara is the variety of those, really nice potato. They're all coming up nicely now. More of them down here. We've got some Setanta and just random seed potatoes that are saved. I don't even know what they are. I think they might be Java, probably Setanta, I don't know, but they're coming up now. Our Kestrel secondaries are coming up as well. They're all coming up now. And there's some signs of our Maris pipers as well. They're just starting to come up now. Excellent stuff. The strawberries, they're coming along quite nicely as well. Plenty of flowers appearing on them now. Yeah, they look brilliant. Yeah. Okay, I think that's everything. There's a heck of a lot going on. I've probably missed some things because there's just that much. But it's a very busy time at the allotment. Really exciting as well. But honestly, it's very time consuming. It's hard to have enough time to come down sometimes and then film as well. I try and film whatever I can and I try and get a video out when I can. I just wish I had more time. But you know, when you're working and you've got a family and other things as well, it can be quite time consuming. But hopefully in the future we'll have more time to do this kind of thing. So that's how the allotment's looking this week. Lots of planting out and things and everything's really coming together now. And I love this time of year now when everything starts to burst into life again. If you want to follow my updates this year, my how-to videos or my weekly vlog videos, do remember to hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon, and that way you'll be notified whenever I release these videos. Every single week usually. It'd be great to have you on board and have you as part of this little gardening community that I've got going on the channel. So that's all for now guys. I hope you all stay safe. I will see you in the next one.